All right, so talking about animation and animated characters and all that kind of stuff, being put to film. Let's talk about Wolfwalkers for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ricardo, if you don't mind, I just want you to do the synopsis for this, right? So, I am not familiar with the studio's previous works. That would
Yeah.
be Secret is what is this? The Secret of Kells.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with Song of the Sea. I heard nothing but praise for both of those films, right? So I just kind of went in blind, not really knowing what to expect as far as animation and artwork and all that kind of stuff. But it was just the hype that surrounding this though, because even like while I'm compiling my best of the year list, I just make it a habit to just check other people's own other online publications, and yeah, this show just keep popping up though. Even before it made its premiere on Apple, Plus. Sorry,
Yeah.
Apple Plus, Apple TV does. So
Apple
yeah,
TV Plus.
yeah, Apple TV Plus, right? So yeah, I was excited for this. Checked it out actually yesterday. Times recorded here. So Ricardo, take it away. What is Wolfwalkers about?
Right. So it's the 17th century, mid 17th century. It's the town of, I think, Kilkenny, and it's them just building up the town, and they under the orders of, if you know who Oliver Cromwell was, it's that, right? He was like a big kind of bad guy in the days of England, early England, and Ireland and whatever it is, right? Uh, Basically, they have to just deal with a pack of wolves, and deal with this pack of wolves. So the main character is, well, Robin, Robin Goodfellow, I think, and she basically, she moved to the town. Basically, her dad was tasked to move to the town to basically wipe out the wolves, to get rid of the wolves, so the people of the town could clear the forest to continue with it, and that's basically the situation. And then now, so she decided to go and check out what was going on and thing, and she meet up with somebody who is a wolf woman, right? A girl named Meb. And yeah, that's the story. It's just the two of them bouncing off each other. It's brilliant art. It's them having to, well, go through the usual. It's very Disney. That's all I'll say. That's very Disney style side of everything. But that's pretty much the setup. And yeah, it's just brilliant art and animation, and the nature of the old world versus modernity and pagan lifestyle versus thing, and Meb character could turn to a wolf, and it have all of that drama. That's pretty much it. That is described.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Right. Well, good synopsis there.
Yeah.
For me, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I won't
Yeah.
say that I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Like, is the greatest thing ever, or is the best
Right.
animated film of the year? That
I'll
show will be
say,
coming up for Christmas. That's all you'll see.
yeah. Yeah, I'll say, I did, my issue was I just thought the ending was a bit, I didn't like the, well, not the ending was bad per se, it just felt a little too rote. It felt a little too Disney, Disney fight, a little too much. Like it
Yeah,
could
yeah.
have it could have resolved itself a little better than that. But just in terms of production, yeah, this thing look amazing. Holy shit! Like I didn't
I
did
know,
the
boy.
last the
Wow.
last 2D, like the last 2D animated movie I saw was what, boy? But this had like a lot of 3D, mix and computer effects mixed with it. But it was just looking so good. What was the last 2D?
Yeah,
Like I think
it's so seamless, boy.
yeah, it was probably Luther the Third. Was my last animated movie, and
No, no.
then
Well, you said last 2D.
yeah,
Lupin
no,
is
right.
2D.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, well, yeah. What's my last 2D? I can't remember, like off the top of my head. Yeah, this was just, anyway. This was excellent for me. Um, Really, really good. Just everything was flowing. It have just, especially when we call it, become the Wolf Walker. Um, and you get to see all of that playing itself out. I was like, all right, well, wood. And
Yeah.
that is when everything started to flow, and it does have these running sequences. art looking good. It really look amazing. Really, really look amazing.
Nah,
The
it
story
does,
is
it does.
yeah, yeah. Right. So it tells a really good story. It's not I can't say it's their best, but still pretty good. Like it's hard to compare because I haven't watched all of them. I only watched one of them from this studio. So I did make an effort to go back and check through these things. But I thought this was really, really excellent on average. Really, really, really excellent on average. Just great characterization. Voice work was pretty good. I think Sean Bean was the dad, so I was
Yeah,
worried for him.
he was.
Um,
Or you were worried?
the
Oh, okay, yeah. Because
Yeah, I thought he
you
was
know,
like,
ever since Game of Thrones season one, we've always had
yeah,
this thing like, oh, if Sean B appears, the tree guy die, right?
yeah,
We're not
yeah,
gonna see what happens in this one here, but we leave it
right,
at that.
right. Then he had um, the guy who played Alpha Cromwell was pretty good for me. The two younger characters I wasn't a big fan of either was okay. I think Anna Keesley's her name is the other one. I got this. I just now pull up all this here.
Right.
Um,
Honor plays Robin, and
right.
the Eva Whittaker who plays Meb. I was actually really digging her voice because of how Irish it sounded.
Yeah.
It sounded pure
Okay.
Irish, yeah, which I love.
Right, right. Now, I now remember what show this remind me of. Over the Garden Wall. If you know what that show is, it reminded me of that a little bit. If it had that same style and use of shadows and color scheme and everything. I find that's what it reminded me
Okay,
of a little bit.
all
Look
right.
up
Not
over the garden.
familiar with it.
Yeah, yeah. That was a series or mini series on the Cartoon Network. I think that was some years back, like about 5 or 6 years ago. That is what I was thinking of. So yeah, I just it just was just a solid. This is just solid business to me. I can't be mad at this. Um, it did what it did. It was just a nice time. I'll admit I didn't think about it that much after finishing it, but it's only because of just the art style I was thinking about. Because the story they could have do more with it. I didn't feel the characterization. The central theme is good, where it's about progress and the old world versus the new. That kind of typical thing, but it's a kind of cliche thing that again are too cynical and old to keep caring about to this day, right? So that is about it.
Right. Well, as I said before, well, actually, I'm kind of the same boat with you, where
Yeah,
I watched it and I really dug the animation fit, but
yeah,
I didn't really like I wasn't really thinking about it after I saw it. You know what I mean? That's not to say the show is terrible. It's just
right,
that like it's really the animation that sticks with you, and yeah,
yeah,
there are just so much great shots in this. So I would say hands
yeah,
down is one of the most gorgeous looking shows you'll see all year. And I really dug the animation style. It's very unique. It's not surrealistic, but it has some
yeah,
surreal is stuff in it too. But
yeah,
not that it takes you out of the world or anything like that. It's just its own aesthetic, right? It even has a couple of um anime slash manga inspired shots, which
right,
caught me
right,
by
yeah,
surprise too. And just overall, it felt like I was just reading this not so much a storybook or a picture book, but like a graphic novel. You know what I mean? It just felt
right, yeah,
like just opening up yeah, just a book and just seeing all these images there. That's how it felt like, right? It has a sort of a storybook aesthetic to it, right? But yeah, I mean the animation is top notch. Yes, I did pick up on the fact that they incorporated 3D into it though, but they just blend that with the traditional 2D so seamlessly, or at least give the impression that it was 2D, right? I'll have to look at the behind the scenes. But yeah, hands down, this is one of the best looking shows of the year, right? As far as the story, it is very well told. It is very engaging. Me kids and adults will pick up on it and will enjoy it in some way, shape, or form. I love how the show touches on, well, yeah, modernity, right, with the character of Robin. You know what I mean? Wanting to be, she has this crossbow. She wants to hunt. She wants to be like a dad, but what I mean, just to keep busy, she has to work in, the Lord Protector's castle. You know what I mean? Cleaning
yeah,
up and all that kind of stuff, right? Uh, I was kind of hoping that they would have kind of expanded on it just a little slightly, like at least show how she would have kind of rebelled against it somehow, right? You know what I mean? Like, but they didn't really do that. It just kind of stops and then goes on to a particular scene, which I don't want to spoil, right? Also, to just as far as minor gripes, the story is very familiar, right? Which is not a bad
yeah,
thing, right? But if
yeah,
you've seen stuff like just for the word go, I was thinking Princess Mononoke, right? Which
Right.
is probably one of my all-time favorite anime shows, anime
Yeah,
movies,
that
right?
right.
Mysterious creatures in the forests and
Yeah.
different spirits and wolves that can talk and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And of course the mother wolf that we will see, that you do see in the film, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not the most original when it comes to narrative, right? Also to just, I don't want, this is not really so much a spoiler, but is a side character who helps Robin do something, right? Or guides her to something. And they like never get back to that character because the character is pretty much trapped. That's all I would see.
Right.
But they never really like show if that person was freed or whatnot. They just kind of move on
Right.
to the next story, right? Just to kind of get things rolling. And I felt like, he could have showed what happened afterwards. And, me, I like my closure, right? But I really was digging the whole, maternity stuff, especially with Bam and her mom. I was like, those were like
Yeah.
generally,
Probably.
heartwarming moments for me. Uh, Also, Jesse whole thing, well, a side plot involving, well, Meb's mom being missing and her trying to find where she is, right? I thought that was really great as well. The dynamic between Robin and her father, Bill, who's played by Sean Bean, I thought was great as well, too, right? Especially, well, they give a little subplot involving, well, his wife passed away, so he's trying to do everything he can to protect his daughter, right? So I thought that was really cool as well. And how it plays out in the end, don't want to spoil it, was really great as well. And yeah, when we have, well, the Lord Protector, aka Oliver Cromwell, being this more or less this basic Disney villain, what I mean? Like, yes, I am the authority and blah
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, right? And I like how he feels as if he's doing the Lord's work, up to the point that he calls himself the Lord Protector and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't really hit you over the head, but yeah, it just shows how someone could be so brainwashed he'll think that everything he do is holy and righteous, right? So it works. And for me, like I really felt like the third act was intense though. Not too intense, of course, but intense enough to be like, oh shit, I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do admit it here, like near the end, they do a little kind of a little Disney kind of moment. You know what I mean? Um, like it just kind of foregoes the intense stuff and just goes for Disney magic and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
still, because of what was going on, I was like, I'm feeling this though. I'm feeling this. Not as much as I want to, but I'm still feeling it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, also too, before I forget, the music was solid as well. I mean, very reminiscent of this. I want to see medieval, adventure stories and whatnot. Some nice little, songs here and there as well too, but not too much, right? And it's just kind of odd in this world how everybody's so obsessed with wolves. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Like I know it's part of the story, but at the same time, it's like y'all just have like this. I don't want to say a hard on, but this obsession
Well,
with
yeah.
wolves. Though it's
No,
always about
it
kill the
is
wolf,
something.
kill the wolf, the
No,
wolf, the
it's
wolf,
something
the
back in
wolf.
yeah, no, something back in that time where wolves were like legit dangerous. Like nowadays wolves you don't worry about wolves, but back then that was a big deal. So yeah, you understand?
Yeah, but it just felt like everything was about killing wolves.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
you have these annoying brats who's like playing. Oh, we caught a wolf. Let's kill him. Like
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, wolves were really dangerous back then. So I can understand the context of why they're doing it in that sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. I
Right.
got you. I got you.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, this was a very, very solid and very entertaining film. This is one that I don't mind owning on Blu-ray. I don't mind showing my kids this one day.
Yeah.
Um, and even though, like I say, I'm waiting for that one animated film to come out next week, and then I can say, oh, use the best animated film of the year. This one certainly is going to be on my best of list. It's not
Yeah.
top 10 at the moment, but I think that this is one that I really want to remember doing. I just really can't recommend this enough. Yeah, hands down, this is one of the best animated films you will see all year. Really, if you like if you're just like solid, unique animation with a really powerful, heartwarming story, with some captivating characters. And speaking of captivating characters, Meb is my favorite, just easy because of just
Yeah.
how spry she is and how adventurous she is, and just that Irish accent is just so irresistible in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, there will be something in this show that you will love. Is especially if you're into animation. 'Cause, yeah, the style, the animation style for this alone is worth checking out, man. So I feel in a strong 4 out of 5 for this one, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is one of the best I've seen for the year. It's not the best thing I've seen all year, just so you all know, but it is still definitely worth checking out, man. Ricardo, last words, I rate it.
yeah. Ultimately, I give it like a 7 out of 10. Most of its points come from the animation and the art style. I just like thoroughly loved all of that. It wasn't mad at this at all. It did its job, but it didn't rope me in as much as I thought it could have. As it is. But so yeah, so 7 out of 10, probably maybe a 8, closer to 8 if it's anything. 7.5.
Yeah, just give it 7.5, man. Like, come on, man. All right, so moving on now. I will talk about Black Bear. So yeah, we move from wolves to bears, right? Yeah. This now is live action. This is a comedy drama of sorts. But the big sell for me was C. McGill, Audrey Plaza in this, right?
Right.
From Parks and Recreation theme, from Legion,
Yeah.
who's I still haven't watched, but I just loved her character in Legion because of just how crazy she was, right? And unpredictable. Just such a great actress as a whole, right?
Yeah.
But I would admit I went in completely blind. I had no idea what this show is about, right? But I just heard that it was just kind of unsettling, but just in a strange way, right? So what this show is about in a nutshell is that we have Audrey plays the character of Allison, right? From what we learned, she was an actress and now she is a director slash screenwriter, right? So she comes to this lake house, basically, right? In some mountainous area in the States, right? This house is owned by this couple, so it's Blair and Gabe, right? Blair is played by Sarah Gadon, and Gabe is played by Christopher Abbott, right? And Blair is pregnant, and Gabe just, more or less taking care of her, right? He makes his living as a professional musician, he calls himself, right?
Yeah.
But he's just kind of like renting the place out because, the idea basically is that Allison just go in there just to write a new script, right? She wants to just get away from, just the hustle and bustle. She wants to just be in her own thoughts. We just kind of figure things out, right? But while she's there, she picks up on something not right with the couple, right? And then they have this pretty uncomfortable conversation. I'm not gonna say what's everything that goes on there, but it involves gender politics and all that kind of stuff. There, so it's
Right.
to the point where Allison, who feeling rather comfortable about all this now, just trying to just move off as far away from the couple as possible. But it's kind of like basically Blair saying how, oh, you just think that women are just supposed to be, wow, uh, designated to just being housewives and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
Gabe just basically saying because of all these changes in gender politics over the past few decades, that's why the world is as messed up as it is, right? And he gives a really thorough explanation as to why, right? But it's just two different perspectives, just more or less clash, right? But believe you me, if I was in that situation too, I would have back out as well. I don't do well in conversations like those or arguments in that about that at all, right? But
Right.
yeah, one thing leads to the next, and then we learn something. Well, slight spoiler. There's a little thing that's going on between Allison and Gabe behind Blair's back. Blair finds out what's going on, and then things just go kind of ape shit, right? But then something weird happens, though, right? I have to kind of reveal this, right? Because it's kind of the weird thing about this show. So then afterwards, we get this second scenario, right? Because okay, so the show basically is broken up into, wait for this, two acts. So we have
Right.
part one, which is what I just mentioned here, and then we have part two now, where Gabe now is playing the role of a director, like a filmmaker, now. And Alison is the actress in the film, right? But there's an opening shot that we see, and you also see the trailer for this, with her basically sitting on the pier, almost like she's meditating, right? Just staring at the lake. And in the second half now, sorry, part two now, it's basically see that this is part of a film that Gabe is directed, right? But at the same time, Blair's also in this case, Blair's his girlfriend, right? But she's not pregnant, right? And we just see this set because it's the last day of filming, and basically we just seen Allison break down mentally because yeah, she just feel like, Gabe is just kind of messing her up, psychologically, and she just can't take it anymore and just really breaking her down.
Right.
And I will stop here at this point, right? So from all this stuff that I described to you, boy, and I was watching this too, yeah. Like I say, I went in completely blind with this, not really sure what was going to happen. But all the while I was thinking, okay, it's about her involvement as Alice's involvement, in between this couple's lives and how things get messed up here. And I forgot to mention too also, yes, there is a black bear in the show.
Right.
There is actual bear in the show, but you don't really see much of the bear in the show, right? I feel it's just there as a symbol or whatever it is, but I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, but then as soon as they get to that part two, boy, I was like, okay, this kind of twisted the story that we saw before, so we get to see from a different perspective. All right, but is this going anywhere? And just to get this out of the way, Ricardo, this is yet another. I'm thinking of ending things.
Okay. Um, I personally didn't. Okay, so I didn't care for that movie, but and I give my reasons why. Like I get it, and it's it from a commentary standpoint. I get what you're trying to go for. So if it's that, then all right, I could see myself, you know, giving it a watch and then being like, all right, I'll probably have to give it a rewatch maybe. Um, because one of the problems with it too is that it demands stress on me. Like I don't regret my review or anything like that, but I'll admit that I watched that film when I was definitely not in the mood to watch something like that. Okay, I had to do
Okay, okay.
yes, I had to do
Well, we were in a similar mood because I remember
right.
watching this on a Saturday night,
Yeah,
and yeah, I wouldn't watch stuff like that on a Saturday night. No offense, but yeah,
no,
near the ending show, I admit I was just like zoning out though, and then it's
right.
only when I wake up that's when I saw I forget who boy name doing the song near the end. The show like, wait, what?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it just lose me there, halfway. Yeah.
yeah. So that's it. It's nothing. It's not the issues. Just you know what kind of mood you have to be in. That's it. It's like you got to be in a
Yeah,
mood, especially with Charlie Kaufman. So
yeah. I agree, I agree. But for me, because this was the first I watched a film from well, the director's name is Lawrence Michael Levine, right?
right.
Haven't seen anything that he made before. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just really didn't know what to make of this though. But that's not to say the show is bad, but just like I'm thinking of ending things, I was just kind of okay. Like in the case of that show, it was more like not waiting for a point to be made or a reason as to why
No, I
things happen.
mean, no, yeah,
Somewhat.
exactly. No, yeah, no. The thing that I think, and things is one of those things that it works if from a commentary standpoint, like because it's Charlie Kaufman and he has everything is about meta and meta, 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 meta. It works, like it does work, especially when you find out what's going on, right? But it's still like it you had to wait and you had to be in a mood, as I say. You just had to wait. Sorry to say.
Yeah. Right. So in this case here, what assumed they okay, so similar to I'm thinking of ending things. Well, a movie that I referenced back then was a show called Persona, right? From Ingmar Bergman,
Right.
another classic art film that take long for you to really understand and have a lot of analysis videos and articles written on it. I still love the movie. I don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
still,
yeah, yeah.
it's just one of those heady shows. You just have to be like, all right, and like I say, you just have to be in the mood to watch it, right? But yeah, in this case here, they kind of do it some little similar here because they incorporated in well cinema, right? They kind
Right.
of bringing us into the world of this is the reality, quote unquote, of things that we see here. So it that second half of the show kind of forces you to think that like even me, I was thinking, okay, so what we saw in the first half was the inspiration for the film, kind of hinted at that, right? But at the same time, now you're kind of left wondering. The show leaves you wondering if this is just all in Aubrey Plaza's head, right? Like if this is just the creative process, all the demons that she just had, all the little insecurities that she had, and it just happened to come alive in these two scenarios now. But okay, that's fine.
Right.
But
Right.
where
Right.
does the
Right.
couple fit in all of this, right? Because the couple does
Yeah.
show back up in the second half, right? It's just that the husband is more well, sorry, the Gabe is more domineering than before. And while in the first half, Blair is the more domineering of the two, right? So it asks all these different questions and give you two different scenarios, but I was just kind of looking for something to connect the two of them, and it can't just be a character and oh well, maybe this is all in her head on that. You have to give us something else there, you know what I mean? So yes, this is another
Uh,
one of those shows you have to kind of watch click carefully, and in my
right,
case, I had to look for analysis videos, but I don't know, boy. It's just like I don't want to say it's just like I'm thinking of ending things, but similar. Where okay, do I really need to do all this legwork now to really get what the show is about? Like
right.
it could be a little vague if you want to, Dread, but just give me a little something for me to
No, well, when
understand.
no, the
You know,
thing,
that this
the
is a
thing,
bridge basically, like a
yeah,
bridge
no,
between two halves there.
the thing with if you the problem with it is that you don't know your like your pop culture history. It's that. So it's if you know what the references are, then the film is immediately click and work for you, kinda. And at the time, I was like, I know this from somewhere, but I just my brain not like clicking, comment, or in the mood to like go and Google that or try to search it. And some people will be like, oh, they immediately know what it is, because
That's the
it
problem. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
felt like
So
I
like,
just
okay,
like I felt there was something that was going on that other people
right.
who praise this film that I haven't pick up
Right.
on for the word go, but I just like I
Exactly.
don't know what it
Exactly.
is.
And
I don't know.
because it does because it does the type of deep cup. It's the same issue with Mank. It's that. Like if you know what to look for, you'll love it. But if you don't know, you'll be like, all right, whatever. Like in I'm thinking of ending things. It had a whole reference to I forget the film that was being referenced, and then
Oh,
the
a woman under the influence. It was a review that Pauline
right,
Kael did.
Pauline Kael, right,
Yeah.
right, exactly, stuff like that. So
Out of that, or out of that one scene, I was like, I need to
I
watch this show though. You know what I mean? But other
no,
than
but
that, I didn't really
I didn't.
pick up on anything.
Yeah, when because I went into the film as blind as I could, I didn't know what to look for. So I was like, wait, there's supposed to be something. And then somebody tell me after, it's like, no, it's supposed to be Pauline Kael. She do a review. But the whole point, the mere fact that the other girl, her statements is the review. Yeah, that's what it represents. And like when you learn the end of the film, it's like, all right, you now understand what kind of going on in the story now. So it's that. I mean, look, whatever. I don't fight this down. I not part of that type of meta culture, even though I like a lot of meta, not that kind of meta. Whatever. Mostly because I have to
Yeah,
do mostly because I hate to do homework. That's
you know.
the main reason. Yeah.
Yeah, boy. I just feel like we repeated ourselves from what we said about I'm thinking of ending things, right? Because
Right.
yeah, like I locked in for the word go, you know what I mean? I was all just to get it out of the way. Aubrey was great at this though. Like she really showed I mean, she was always a great actress in my eyes, right? But I felt like she really pushed herself further than she did. Like I've ever seen her before, right? It's reminiscent in a way of like what Natalie Portman did with Black Swan, right? Like
Right. Right.
what to give she dark material, she will go all in for this too. So you feel when she's angry, when she's
Yeah.
bitter, when she's vindictive, all that kind of stuff. That you just feel all those moments.
Yeah, it's
But
very yeah. I get a feeling that the way you describe it is very Aronofsky. What's the other one too? Called Asta.
Ari Aster, no.
No, I just said Asta. Asta is from Requiem for a Dream. That is the one I was thinking.
Oh gosh! All right,
Yeah,
that scene, yes. Yeah.
yeah,
How
yeah.
can I forget? Yeah, it does have an Aronofsky feel to things, though.
Right.
And just the whole isolation vibe, you know what I mean, and having just these three characters bounce off each other worked for me in the first half, right? And also just want to mention too, I thought that Sarah Gaynor and Christopher Abbott, they were great as well. They really caught me in that first act, though, especially with how they were just arguing and stuff like that. It worked, but the
Yeah,
way how that section ends, though, and slight spoiler, it does involve a bear. That's all I'll see. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I was just like excited to see what's gonna happen next. Like I thought it was, oh, we're gonna see what happens after that moment. But then it's like, no, we're seeing a different scenario, but in the same place. But it kind of hints back to what happened before, and all this talk about jealousy and manipulation and all that kind of stuff. But still, I was like, all right, but you're not gonna get back to what happened before, right? And they also do the usual. We'll use a couple of shots and we use a particular shot and just pretty much repeat it. So it's up to you to interpret whether it's all in she head or that. They do that
right.
thing, right?
Yeah.
But still, I look, I am all for films that you know challenge people and play with people's minds and all that kind of stuff. But still, you have to kind of give a reason to be invested, right? So give him a two almost different scenarios rather than tell him I have to care is like it's kind of hard for me to like I don't know like I just really don't know how what to make up this though even right
Yeah.
down to the title itself because like I said before there's a black bear but to me I feel like it's a symbol of something but
Right.
you should just want to tell me what it is. It just felt like it's just there to be like oh it's there just in case you're wondering that so I don't know. I kind of get a little exhausted talking about this show, to be honest. But yeah, I would say that this was an absolute letdown. But this is definitely a show that I have to watch over again. But unfortunately, this is not one that I want to watch in a hurry. Similar to I'm taking of things. I do see this showing up on people's best stuff. That's fine. Same thing with ending things. Yeah, it's already up there too. But still, like, I don't know. Somebody had to tell me what was really going on. Like, if it's the like, if on the whole is all about bringing in your own personality into films and trying to get your actors to convey certain things, but it's
Right.
something on the side of you and all that kind of stuff because they hint at it in the first act.
Right.
Okay, fine, all right, just connect it a little bit more tighter, in my opinion. Don't make it all loose. But what's the point of the bear? It's
Right.
just something
Yeah.
as simple as that. Why is there a bear in this show? Why the name of the show is Black Bear? There's literally no reason why it should be named that, unless there's something symbolic about it. I don't know. Somebody had to tell me, right? So, like I
Yeah.
say, it's one of those shows, and I really wish that I enjoyed this more. I really wish I could have enjoyed this, but yeah, it kind of left me the same way how I felt with ending things. But
Yeah.
I don't know. As a whole, I would still give this light 3 out of 5. I mean, it's eyed for it. It did keep me roped in. It did go on for like 2 hours plus, like ending things, but
Right.
still, it left me feeling the same exact way. Like, there's something that's going on that I just didn't pick up on. Maybe it's about what it means to be a woman. I don't know. Maybe it means what it is about being a screenwriter or a filmmaker. I don't know. But once again, what is the point of a black beard then? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
things, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to bash the show for having this thing be in the show because it's the title, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't do that. But you had to give a little reason outside of, oh, well, it's just open to interpretation, man. Come on, give a little more than that, But if you're curious, give it a look. Keep your expectations low. I don't have some coffee with you. And like we said with the editings review, if you understand it or you want to do a deep dive and make a video or article explaining this thing to me or explaining this to other people, yeah, go right on ahead, man. In the meantime, when I'm ready, I will probably watch it over again and then watch a analysis video. But for now, I don't know. I just had other stuff to deal with, right? So it is what
Right.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.